Man, you really can just find free games on Steam, right? Check this out. This game's free, and it's called Grapple, and it's kind of like Yonoid 2, in that there's a grappling hook. And I had never heard of this game. I still don't really know anything about this game, because I've never played it before. But I'm just kind of... I was looking through the Steam store, and I was thinking about, like, okay, what kind of, games... What kind of games do you think I can find to just play for free? Because, they do exist. Like, they do exist. Like, 20 Small Mazes was a free game that I just picked up one day and got like an hour-long video out of. And so I was thinking, it would be really cost-effective if I wasn't spending money on games all the time. And for what it's worth, I really haven't spent any money on this channel specifically, because all the games I've played, for the most part, are games that I've already owned or were gonna buy anyway. I haven't bought any games to play on this channel, but it could happen. It might happen. It probably will happen. I don't know. But in the interest of keeping that, financial, keeping the channel not terribly expensive. I like how the music restarts every time you restart the level. In the interest of keeping the channel cheap, I was like, oh, I wonder what games you can find on free for Steam. And I came across this game, and this is just a legit game. There's a lot of free games on the internet, like itch.io, GameJolt and stuff, but I distinctly remember as a kid going on the Steam store, going on the Xbox store, stuff like this, looking for free games at games.com. I don't know what is on that website, but I was looking for free games on Steam and the Xbox Live and stuff. And it's all free to play. It's all games that you kind of have to spend some money on, or like at some microtransactions, stuff like this. And so I turned to like mostly a lot of Flash games and stuff whenever I couldn't have any pocket money to spend on a game, which was most of the time. I would just not go to those. I would just not go to those for sources of games, right? Like Steam was strictly a place to spend money, because to not do that would mean actually, ironically, spending a lot of money, because playing those free games would eventually become expensive. And I did spend a lot of money on free-to-play games. Like, I used to play Team Fortress 2 a lot, and I spent a decent chunk of money, particularly for a kid, on that game. And I'm not sure I would say it was worth it. I have like 500 hours in TF2, I think. I've gotten 500 hours out of free games before. I've gotten 500 hours out of games that I've spent £5 or £10 on. So having spent like a decent chunk of money on TF2, and I have no like actual number to give you here, but having spent money on TF2, I definitely think I could have gotten more hours out of TF2, and still not spent money. Like, I think I could have spent... I think there's enough in Team Fortress to... This game's actually hard, by the way. There's enough in the Team Fortress 2 to, like, get 500 hours without spending anything, and more. So, you know, maybe I got a bit scammed there. But I don't know. My point in all of this was, like, how things change, you know? Getting free games was like, it was the holy grail as a kid is free video games. Unlimited video games, right? That's the holy grail. And now that I have less time to play games, still quite a lot of time, mind. I still play games frequently. But now that I don't just spend all day sitting at a computer playing games, ironically, I have an infinite source of free games, even without piracy. You know, you can go to Steam and itch.io and find genuinely, like, decent games for free. And I don't understand this game. You can find genuinely decent games for free on like itch.io, GameJolt, Steam. And, you know, better than that, you can just, like, go on Blue Maxima Flashpoint, and yeah, you know, Flash games always existed, but they're all in one place. They're not like, you don't have to go to, like, oh, Cool Math, Congregate, Miniclip. They all have, like, different selections of games. Now they're just all in one place. There's HTML5 games on there as well. Like, it's an amazing way to play all of those kinds of games, which are great games. Like, there are so many great games on there. In fact, if you want to talk about free games on Steam, the Ninja Kiwi Archive is on Steam now. That's not a new thing. It's been there for like a year or two, but that's still like a great source of like free gaming, right? So, I don't know. I think it's kind of funny how that turned out, considering that I now have less time than I once did to play those games. But, you know, this is the time where I need the most free games, because in an average year, I would maybe play like 20, 30 games. But this year, I'm going to be bumping that number up to over 366. Over, because there are games that I've played that will not be on this channel. There are games that I've played with the intention to upload onto Gold that are just crap, and so I don't know. I think I'm exposing myself to a lot of new stuff, which is pretty cool. At this point, I'm not even worried about like, oh, what genre is this game? Am I gonna like this game? In fact, that's a question that I used to always ask myself before playing a game, is will I like this game? And that's a question that I do not ask myself before before looking for a game to play on Gold. Of course, I try to play fun games, but if a game is crap, you know, what is that? What is this right click? What is that? I just did something by right clicking. You can hand glide? What? Okay, that makes this a bit easier, I think. Anyway, like I was saying, I have been pleasantly surprised by a lot of games that I probably wouldn't have played normally, and I hope that that continues to happen. There are some games that I'm being told to play on the channel that I will play. You know, a lot of the time, if someone gives you a game recommendation, and listen, before you get mad at this is just real. This is just real, right? Someone gives you a game recommendation, you're like, oh yeah, I'll check it out. 99% of the time you don't. 99% of the time you don't go and check out the game. It's just the truth. In fact, you can apply that to any recommendation. Right? Movie recommendation? Someone recommends me a movie, I'm like, yeah, sounds cool. But like, I'm not gonna watch it, probably. But the difference is that now, someone gives me a game recommendation, I'm like, hell yeah, and I'm excited, because, you know, I'm not going to be able to come up with that many games all by myself. I mean, I could come up with 366 games all by myself. That wouldn't be like an impossible thing to do. It would be a really easy thing to do, but I'm going to be exposed to more types of games at least this way. And I literally haven't beat level 2 yet. This game is very difficult, and yeah, I guess because it's telling me to dash there, presumably I'm supposed to save my dash until I get there. So we can try doing that. But it's still hard. It feels like every time I grapple from a distance, it's just a little bit too long, and then I touch the water. Which is not at all like Yonoid 2, where that doesn't happen. And I can't lie, it's a little bit frustrating. I don't know if I get the hype for this game, personally. Actually, the game had mostly negative reviews on Steam, but it had a lot of reviews, which, you know, is its own kind of hype. Any publicity is good publicity, and this game certainly had it. People were very passionate about how the old version of this game was better, and so I saw the top review was like, oh, if you go to the betas and you type play old grappler or whatever, old grapple, you can play the old version. And I was like, well, you know, if I'm gonna play this game, I don't want to play the crap version, so I typed that in, and I don't know if this is supposed to be the better version. If this is the better version, I shudder to think what the new version is like, because this is not great. Yeah, okay, let's see if I can get to the end of this level. This level doesn't seem quite as obnoxious as the last one so far, because I can just kind of go up here and skip most of the bits that look hard. I mean, it kind of reminds me of like Cluster Truck. It's just like a very bare bones aesthetic movement game, and you know, I was into Cluster Truck, and I think like these kinds of games that are just like, oh, I took like one or two ideas about movement and I put them all into this game, and that's it. Like it's very bare bones other than that. I think those kinds of games can be fun, but they never seem to get like a lasting like I was about to say they never seem to get a lasting success, but what I mean by that is that, like, personally, like, those games are not successful with me. I don't like those kinds of games. I don't continue to play those kinds of games. I continue to play games that were usually not made with a specific, like, gimmick in mind. I don't know if that's a statement of quality on the games, or if it's just like how it happens to work out. But, like, you know, I played Cluster Truck a bit. I didn't spend that much time on it. It's just like a fun little game. I never managed to beat Cluster Truck. I didn't mention this in the video where I played Cluster Truck, because in the video where I played Cluster Truck I was talking about Legend MM, but in Cluster Truck, the boss battle there's the like last level is like a boss battle thing, and you know, I tried and I couldn't beat it, and I was like, okay, well, I feel like I've gotten enough out of this game that whether or not I beat this level doesn't really matter. So I've never beaten the game, and honestly, I'm fine with that reality. And, you know, with regards to this game, Grapple, I feel like I'll never beat it either, because look at how this is going so far. I'm out.